Hey yo, welcome back to the Glassmith podcast. I'm here with Keller and Billy. You've seen their faces before, and we have an interesting podcast here today.
Fuck Kanye.
That's pretty much the topic. He's coming out with music, and we've been talking about it a lot. Let's roll the intro.
Welcome, friends.
Man, I hate to do this to you right after the bong hit, but fuck Kanye?
Yeah, all the way. All the way. So I'm pretty much prepared to hate on Kanye in any way. Like as a producer,
Oh.
as a shoe designer, as a clothing designer, as a person. You know what I mean? I fucking kind of like I've been disintegrating him lately. Piece by piece.
Is this like a recent hate, or
more
you
so
just
recently?
you just kind of always hated on Kanye?
No. I used to like Kanye.
Oh.
Yay.
Yeah, sorry. He's changed his legal name to Ye.
Where do you want to start? Like,
yeah, like what? Where'd the flip come from? You know, like where'd it go from? I like Kanye to fuck Kanye.
Oh, I think it really finished recently, like with his either like his bipolar episode and kind of the idea like the anti-Semitism with the Trump stuff, and it was almost like everything he was doing was a cry for attention, and if it wasn't a cry for attention, it was just like hatred, right? So then it was like I've been watching him for so long. I was like the excuse I would make for him is that everything that Kanye does is to make the show bigger. Mm-hmm. So you always have to keep bringing on shows. Oh, let me give it to you. When he went to started going biblical music, like it's almost like I'm trying to grasp for an audience because I need to go bigger and bigger and bigger. In one way, you're like, wow, always trying to grow. In another way, you're alienating so many people when you make divisive comments. So I was like, that would be the first way I'd get him.
Keller, opinions on Kanye, or what do you think?
it's really hard. Because, like, a lot of the stuff, I'm a really big fan of, especially his early stuff. His, most recent releases, not so much at all, to be perfectly honest with you. But, to have someone so talented, but then they stalk their wife. And say these horrible things about their children, and make I think even said some weird things about his mom. In like the little documentary that came out on Netflix. It's a really tough one because he's done a lot of things that I wouldn't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. If I was a big brand like Adidas or Banks wouldn't take his money. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what happens. I'm glad that even as rich and as big as he is, he faced consequences for his actions. That was something that I did agree with.
Eventually, I feel like so on like a scale of fuck Kanye to, or I guess I love Kanye to fuck Kanye. Where
How excited are you for the new album?
I didn't know about
it. Yeah,
so if that answers the question,
if you didn't know, it was Ty Dolla $ign who posted on his Instagram basically just a black screen with the yen symbol and the dollar symbol, and then said multi-stadium listening party event. Like October or November 4th or something like that.
Okay.
I forget the date exactly, but now people are speculating it's a Ye Ty Dolla $ign album that's gonna come out.
So it's not confirmed; it's just speculation.
Yeah, but I feel like that's how all music kind of goes. They just post some shit. Will happen.
All music or just EA music?
Well, okay. So Drake recently he like had a concert where he wore like 9/22 in his hair, and like was really hinting that his For All the Dogs album was gonna drop on September 22nd. Never dropped September 22nd, and he was like, I never said it was gonna drop September 27th. But I feel like it's something all music people do where they post something to try to get some attention, and then it maybe happens, maybe never happens. Who knows? It's Kanye, so he can't really.
Yeah, it can come out one song at a time for the rest of the time.
But so him and Ty Dolla $ign have been making music for a long time. Like, I think College Dropout era, like when he first started making music, he has a feature on there. So it's not surprising, but it is surprising that...
Go ahead.
Like, given where Kanye is now, that Ty Dolla $ign's still working with him. Because a lot of the people he worked with in the past won't work with him anymore.
Is Ty Dolla $ign something that either of y'all listen to?
Yeah. I feel like he's a very big feature artist. Mm-hmm. He's not necessarily...
For sure.
Like the biggest, like I don't listen to his music a lot, but when I see him as a feature, I'm like, oh, that's probably gonna be a good song.
Interesting. Maybe I just never had any idea about this, about Ty Dolla $ign. I thought it was like a newer rapper.
No, he's pretty old, dude.
And I remember listening to him from like a fat minute ago.
What's the best song Ty Dolla $ign's in? If you know, I'm trying to put you on the spot or anything.
Oof.
Like one that I would know about.
I think Ty Dolla $ign was Wiz Khalifa.
They do a lot together though. The time that I've seen Wiz Khalifa in concert, Ty Dolla $ign was brought out as a guest.
Okay, so Wiz Khalifa, Ty Dolla $ign.
His associations are.
Because what I'm saying is I never heard of fucking no Ty Dolla $ign. And it seems like Kanye is digging pretty deep in the well to get an artist to come work with him because no big artists work with him anymore.
I don't know. That's like, because I don't know their relationship that well. Look, I just looked up Ty Dolla $ign and there's a whole playlist labeled Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign. So like they have hella history together. But yeah, I don't know. That's just what brought out Ye again. Okay. It's his coming to do this, and the fact that he's not only releasing an album, but that he's releasing a co-album with Ty Dolla $ign, who I think is pretty uncontroversial. Like I've never heard.
I've never
heard him getting canceled or anything.
Well, and like the event, as far as that goes, that's what it was last time, right? When he like announced Donda, they did the big thing at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Which
Atlanta, and then he lived in the stadium for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a mat. You saw that picture or whatever. It was just like a mattress, a little thing. He just stayed in there and made Donda.
They said he had to pay like a lot of money to stay in there, like $70,000 a night or something.
Yeah, he's a crazy man.
You like Donda?
It's like, it's hard to like rank because there's so many songs on it. I like a lot of songs from Donda, or like a handful of songs from Donda, but in scope of like the whole album. And like compared to like Life of Pablo, where I like every song in the album.
Okay.
It's like Donda's not that good. Like compared to what he's done in the past.
What was the last good Kanye album or Ye album?
I think it was probably, I don't know, probably Ye for me. Like his Ye album. There's one called Ye.
What song comes off that
one? Ghost Town, Yikes, All Mine. I don't know if you know any of those.
Only if you sang one. What about you, Keller?
I put my hand on.
I don't know the order they come in very well, but let me go look through my.
You have a favorite?
My liked songs of his.
I think.
See which one most of them come off of. What's Yeezus, Blood on the Leaves in particular. I think that's my favorite Kanye little moment.
See, that's a crazy one. I don't know if you've ever heard Yeezus, but Yeezus is kind of his like experimental album where he like uses a lot of, I don't know, it's just his experimental album. A lot of people like claim it to be like a I guess a break point in music. Like after Yeezus came out, so much more music like Yeezus also came out because of Yeezus. Like one of those
like it was influential, like, yeah. But was it like really listened to?
Yeah. That's where the you would know if I played it.
Okay.
100%. I'm gonna play it because you would 100% know it.
Yeezus, huh? I don't listen to any Kanye albums.
No? Damn.
You should give it a listen.
Or like New Slaves. See, but very like experimental sounds. Like a very like there's nothing before this.
So this shit just didn't play that much anyway.
I think it was received poorly at first, but then like once people like really like sat on it, it became like, wow, this is actually really good. And like kind of put out Kanye as like a producer, which he already was for College Dropout, Graduation, Late Registration, but like I feel like that album especially because he didn't sample as much, I guess. Like he was a lot of his
so basically the album that he made without sampling a bunch was kind of like the shitty one. Anyway, a little bit more fucking Kanye hate for y'all.
I gotta defend him on that one.
Okay.
Because, like, I think producing, like, especially at the time that he was producing, like, sampling was a big part of it. You know, it's almost like, I don't know, like, I feel like this is a bad analogy, but like, soccer volleyball, like how soccer volleyball is like kind of a sect from soccer. You know, sampling is like a sect from making music. Is like you're taking other people's music and chopping it up and envisioning it in your own way. And like I can only say that because I'm one who has sampled and sees how hard it actually is to use other people's music.
To find the good parts.
Mm-hmm. And so I don't know, I'll give him some credit because he also like pioneered people sampling so much nowadays. It was like everyone wants to be Kanye. Everyone wants to sample like Kanye.
So he's the best biter.
Yeah. I guess so. But he's also done a lot, like you said, he got into the gospel things and he made the Sunday service choir and a lot of things after that, like Come to Life and all those has been his own like doing. Like he got the people together and made them sing the whatever he wanted them to sing.
Do you think the new fans that he's gotten beat the ones that he's lost? Or do you think that really I'm like an outlier, like I used to jam it and now I don't?
I feel like, I don't know, Keller, how do you feel as a Kanye fan or previous Kanye fan?
I don't think it probably makes up for the difference, no. Because, like, people, like, who are, like, listening to his Jesus music with, like, Jesus in their heart, like, they're not gonna know. Like, listen to his other stuff and they're gonna go, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You can only barely be a fan.
Yeah, no. Absolutely not. And for as many people, you know, just who are, like, morally, absolutely not, no way.
I don't know. I feel like whenever the time where, you know, Kanye said that anti-Semitic stuff and like Kanye became like super canceled and I was working at the shop for a little bit and like a lot of my, you know, like my shop playlist has a lot of Kanye on it because, you know, it's popular music, good to jam to while you're working. But then I was like, damn, maybe I can't play him anymore. Because, like, it's just not what people fucking with. Or, like, they think that we hold the values that Kanye does if we play it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I kind of ran, like, a little social experiment, I guess. I guess just a poll. And it was just, I would just ask a bunch of customers, like, Kanye okay to listen to in public? Not okay to listen to in public?
I remember this.
Yeah, do you listen to him or just privately? You know? And I feel like a majority of the time they were like, yeah, I still listen to his music. But I don't like him as a person. Or it's okay to play him out loud.
Okay.
But, like, you know, just don't like him as a... They
said...
Almost
like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. Well, like, they were kind of like separate the art from the artist.
Okay.
They were like, Kanye made this music whenever he was, you know, however old he was.
Old Kanye is okay, new Kanye sucks?
Maybe. Like, maybe that's how you play it. I don't know.
Yeah.
If that's the case, good thing new Kanye does, in fact, suck.
Yeah, we can all agree on that.
And you heard the new Kanye song, right?
Maybe.
You did. You played it before this. I don't know if you knew it was the new Kanye song.
I just didn't know.
But, yeah. And it was...
So it's probably catchy. I probably got down with it.
It starts with America Suck My Balls.
Oh, that one. See, that one is pretty good. But it's not like off an album. It's a single, and they sampled another song. So
who's with it?
Spaz.
Actually, so the story is Spaz sampled Kanye's song.
Who's Spaz?
Just some rapper. He's like, yeah, just some rapper.
Alright.
He sampled Kanye's song.
Oh, we heard that one.
And he tried to get his sample cleared by Kanye, because that's his song. And Kanye was like, I'll only clear the sample if you let me rap on the beat. And so obviously Spaz, who's obviously you never heard him. He's not that big.
Yeah,
He was like, Kanye gonna come rap on my song? Yeah. So Kanye comes, raps on his song, lets him use the sample. And, like, that was the first thing he's put out since the anti-Semitic comments. And, like...
How popular is it? Like, do you look at shit like that?
How
like,
many listens does it have on
like,
Spotify?
is it ranked high?
It's pretty...
Did Drake smoke it?
Drake definitely smoked it. But it's...
My Girl Taylor's beating it?
She hasn't released her new album yet, I don't think.
Taylor's got a new album?
Taylor has a new album supposedly supposed to release on the date of Donda's death, which is his mom.
You think if she finds out what day he's releasing his album for real, she'll just come in and release it over him?
No. I think if Kanye finds out what day... I think Taylor has a set day, but I think Kanye is trying to release on the same day as Taylor Swift.
I think one of the things that really bothers me about Ye is that nobody has... that he's still so popular. Like, that he could be ranked high on plays... Just as like, how the fuck? Like, you can just do all this shit. You're like untouchable almost.
Mm-hmm.
You can do all sorts of bad shit if you like, but that's like fucking shows that like all like, you know, my like my diss about the sampling and all that is like he's very popular. Like it's it doesn't like it's almost like anything that he does or says can just kind of shed off of him. So the bigger he goes, maybe the like bigger and bigger. Maybe this new album that he comes out will just be like a back to the roots album. Like all the way back to the beginning, rather than a like.
You said this was the first thing he's released since he said these horrible, awful things.
Mm-hmm.
It's only got 7.5 million listens on Spotify.
7.5
That's not
million.
very many.
Yeah, I mean compared to like Drake numbers, which is
well,
like...
and so it's not just like he does a verse. Like the song is 80% Kanye, 20%. This other dude talks for like the first 25 seconds, and then the entire rest of it is Kanye.
Interesting.
No, yeah. Do you like... Okay, so you're Jewish, right, Billy?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, after the anti-Semitic comments, like, is that when you flipped, or how did that make you feel? And, like...
I don't know, like, you know, like, I kind of, like, anything for attention. So I understand it. It was like, I understand that, like, when Trump came out, people really saw a way to get ultra famous to the point of even being president based on fame.
Mm-hmm.
Just really quickly, a guy like Kanye was like, who's also like a circus performer, decided that he was going to jump on the same bandwagon. He said, oh, if that shit worked for him, it'll work for me. Which is pretty arrogant. You know, anybody who kind of like, I think Elon Musk kind of tries to run the same game. Like, it's just like anything for attention. Look at me all the time. I say controversial shit to just be controversial. The one side is louder than the other. It's like so I can take that side. I don't know how, like, it's in a way it's almost, it seems fake. Like, do these people feel this way? Like, is Trump actually a big fan of McDonald's? You know what I mean? Or does he just like to eat a hamburger on camera?
Yeah.
Like
kissing the baby like in front of the cameras.
But then they went down like a kind of path that's like goes against my value. Like all of the people's paths go kind of against my personal values. So I don't know, like it's just like whatever. So when he said that stuff, like as far as it just seemed like something that he took too far based on a trend that he saw that he thought he could capitalize on. And either way, it's just dumb. You know, like hating. It's just like hating on people on a large scale like that. It's like wow. And the fact that people don't care about it that much is also like just kind of like. I wouldn't say it's an eye opener, but it's like it's something to check, something to look at for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think like I guess I don't necessarily know if you would call it punishment, but like the things that happened to him afterwards were just of what he said, like how like all the banks basically dropped him. He lost his thing with Adidas. He lost his contract with his music record. I forget which one it was. I think it was the Rolling Stones one. I forget which one, but he basically went from.
So yeah, I think he deserved it. Like it's like he made something that was like, I guess that's one of the, like to go back on it, it's like if that was an anti-capitalist move, but people think that the move that, like when he made those statements, that goes against what capitalism normally says. The fact of it is he's more popular. Like I don't know if he's more popular now, but he's still very popular. So it's like if he got back together with Adidas and put out some new Yeezys, would those shoes sell? And I'm guessing they would be a very popular shoe.
Keller, what do you think about Yeezys?
The like foam ones, they're so ugly.
What?
Like Billy, you got him dead there. Like the shoe designer, yikes! Please do not quit your day job.
What about like the normal Yeezys though, like the classic Yeezys, like the cream white
sneakers?
ones? Yeah.
I still think they're tacky.
Mm.
They look like they're like a mummy to me.
A mummy?
Yes. With all the like weird stitch lines, and it looks like they're made out of like a burlap sack. I'm like, for $185, you're drunk.
Oh, like I hear you got hate for the shoes too.
Yeah, like it's like a weird slipper. I'm just saying it's not much of a shoe. And I have a hard time believing that he would even design his own shoe. You know what I mean? It's like he just picked one out of this lineup. It was like, I like that one. It's weird. He was like, give me that fabric. Give me this thing. And somebody showed him all that shit, and he just kind of picked it. Just fucking bit somebody else's shoe design probably too. I don't know. So even me, I'm just tainted. Like I can't even look at the shoes.
Yeah, I don't feel like I don't own Yeezys, and I never really want. I feel like at the price point they're at, it's like no.
And then it's like the polarization. It's like I'm saying, what like we're talking about, he's still popular, but on the other hand, it's like you're just gonna wear these fucking shoes. You're gonna be like, whoa. There's not gonna be less and less people looking at you like, wow. And then I think like it's probably like sexism. Sexism says the love for Yeezy, the love for Ye is with young males. Like the older males are probably like stuck on him still, but that's just because the old shit and they would cling to. But that old shit was really dope. Like it was like he changed the game. He did all this cool production, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? On the other hand, right now he's just an old ass rapper, like probably 50 years old, 3 kids. What the fuck are you rapping about? You know, with the fucking mask and all that shit. I don't know.
Yeah, the mask is crazy, and there's different phases. I feel like, especially like us, like growing up, like Kanye has just gone through so many phases and like things, and like you said, like the mask and like, I don't know. Did you ever like watch the Yeezus or Genius documentary on Netflix?
You should watch it.
Did you watched it?
I did, yeah. It was really interesting. This dude who met him when he was like just starting out decided just on a whim, like, this dude is gonna be something. I'm gonna follow him with a camera for 20 years. And he did. And Kanye blew up, and it's all like on. It's kind of the craziest thing
At
I've
what
ever
point
seen.
did he start? Like before he had made songs for anybody?
He was trying to get people to listen to his stuff, correct?
Yeah, it was. I think it. He was a producer before he was a rapper, right?
Okay.
And so he produced for a lot of people. I think he produced for Common, if you know who Common is.
Yeah.
He produced, like, I feel like that's the only like old rapper I can think of right now. But yeah, he produced for a lot of people, and then he eventually started producing his own things and like getting his like College Dropout. Is like what
Common was Chicago rapper.
Yeah, and that's where Kanye was, and he got his like College Dropout, I guess, kind of few songs from that. One of the most popular ones, or like we all fall down, or fall down. All falls down, and he's trying to show it to different record labels, because at this point, it's really hard to get people to listen to your music, right? It's like you can't just go on Spotify and look up Kanye and get all his music. It's like you gotta get the CD, and he has to let people, like, make people hear it. Anyways, I feel like in that time he seemed like a pretty normal, chill hustler who is selling rap CDs on the corner, just trying to, you know, get his name out there. Like, he seemed just like a normal, like, kid with aspirations.
He was still pretty full of himself, but like he was like a normal dude.
But like, as you would be as like someone trying to be this famous guy, you know. But I don't know. And then so like Keller said, this guy starts following him around with a camera because he hears a little bit of College Dropout, and he's like, oh man, this guy's gonna go big. He's like, I'm gonna drop everything and just film him for like 20 years?
Yeah.
20 years.
At some point, Kanye started paying him.
They never said anything about that.
know.
I assume so.
Was it pretty glowing, or they got into bad shit up too? Like it was like a Kanye fluff piece, or it was like a Kanye like documentary.
It was a documentary.
It was
Talks about like his mom dying and.
Yeah, and like.
But like talks about like going to see Trump, or like doing crazy shit, or like making crazy statements.
So it's only 3 episodes, right? And like the first episode kind of covers everything up to the point of before his, or maybe a little bit after his release of his first album.
Like early days.
Mm-hmm. And then after the second one's kind of like, from that point to like a little bit, it gets like distorted because Kanye becomes, like after he releases College Dropout, he becomes like instantly like probably one of the most famous music artists in America at least.
Okay.
And I don't know, feel like that does something to your head, does something to like how you, I don't know how you act. So I think the guy's name's Cody. Something like that. The guy who was filming him, like, eventually just got less and less access to Kanye because Kanye started blowing him off and being I'm gonna go fucking with LeBron. I don't know actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this crazy shit, and you can't really come with me.
So he got less and less coverage because like at the beginning it's like super covered, like all the way to College Dropout. You see him going to try to make people listen to his music. Him just talking about how no one's giving him a chance, and like he's like man, I'm gonna be like just like really in depth Kanye. And then, like, as it progresses, you kind of get less and less as he starts to pull, like, away from...
Yeah, it kind of shows, like, who picked him up first, like, whenever, like, when Jay-Z kind of grabbed him up as an artist.
I don't know, did it...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because, like, what College Dropout, I think, is a Def Jam album.
Yeah.
And Jay-Z was Def Jam at the time, like, president Def Jam.
Then, yeah, it does. It does, for sure.
It's got a bunch of stuff about him and Jamie Foxx and
him and Kid Cudi too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you just get less and less of it, and then like by the third episode, it was basically just the videographer just talking about what happened, and like being like, yeah, Kanye like blew up, started ignoring me, and like this is like what he's doing today. I kind of hit him up recently and like did this and got this documentary like out, so he kind of talks about like, because there's a huge cut. There's a huge cut where like he stops filming him, and then he comes back like some years later because
he ran it while he was young, and then he got a little older, had to fucking cut back.
And yeah, I don't know, very controversial documentary because on one,
watch them.
Yeah, good watch. You should you maybe make you understand Kanye a little bit more.
Oh, it only increased the hate. That's why I had a hard time watching it. I'm just like, oh, it's probably a fluff piece about Kanye. And basically what you explained is how I imagined it. It showed this real raw footage from the early days with a couple of these really trumped up stories that he's got about fucking Jamie Foxx and blah, blah, blah. Like, I've been hearing these stories my whole life, so I assumed, like, if he was going to have a documentary, all that shit would be in it. Because that's, like, the cool stuff. But then I was also kind of under the assumption that you wouldn't get a lot of the, like, he's crazy, and then he married Kim Kardashian, and everybody kind of questioned what he was doing. He said all this dumbass shit.
I think they do kind of go in, like, especially on the third episode, they kind of go in, like, not in on him, but just basically be like, yeah, he went crazy, he got all these mental illnesses, we tried to help, nothing worked. Like, wasn't like a fluff piece. They were basically, like, they weren't hating on him, I guess, but they were, like, just saying it how it was.
This is what happened.
Yeah.
But not that much time spent on it.
Not that, yeah. Well, I feel like the whole third episode is basically that. Because the whole third episode's, like, I feel like 2/3 of it is basically no footage from any time before the last episode, and just him being like, this is what happened. Like, Ye did this, and then he did this, and I tried to contact him here, but he said this, and then, you know, and then eventually we got together, and we sat down, and then, like, the camera comes back, and, like, they're together again, and, you know.
It's weird he's not more like Michael, like, he's, like, kind of reminiscent of Michael Jackson. But Michael Jackson grew up famous, like from little tiny kid, like 5-year-old singing songs.
Yeah.
So like Kanye is at least like older, like more developed before the fame set in, but kind of the same crazy. I would imagine as it goes on, we will fucking kind of get rid of Kanye. Like you can still get R. Kelly on Spotify, right? But like nobody really jams that shit anymore. And I would just say as time goes on, it'll probably at some point that shit'll catch up.
I can see that.
Keller, do you think Kanye's Kanye because he's Kanye? Or do you think Kanye could be anyone who was put in Kanye's position? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if Billy made College Dropout and blew up like that instantly? You think Billy would be the same as Kanye?
No.
Like, as crazy or like as ego-driven and like ego-filled?
No.
Or do you think
Kanye
it's
Kanye because he's Kanye, for sure. Like, And then watching this documentary, I think, made me feel like that more.
Started off as a different kind of person.
Yeah.
Do you think that... I feel like there's either two tipping points. I feel like either the tipping point was College Dropout or his 3-album run of College Dropout, Graduation, and then Late Registration, or whenever his mother died, whenever Donda died. Because, like, his mother, as you see in the documentary, was kind of like everything to him. Like, he was a mama's boy for sure.
Okay.
And, like, he has that song called Hey Mama in College Dropout, I think. One of the first ones. He's a mama's boy. But, like, I feel like after his mom died is when he went kind of MIA and started making his own decisions.
No consequences for the decisions you're making. No, like, everybody around you's yes man. Makes sense. I
like to think maybe it's anybody put in that position would go crazy like that. Anybody put in Kanye's exact position of, like, being somebody who struggled to be seen, to being the most seen person, and then what that can do to your... I don't know.
Do you think that at some point he became kind of an industry plant himself? I know we were going to talk about industry plants, but I'll use Kanye as a segue. Like, somebody who started out with a really good origin story, is very creative, but then gained access as an insider to be able to use, like, we're talking about sampling, and we're talking about, like, the ability to sample anything comes with being an insider, or, like, working for Def Jam, like, being a Def Jam guy allows you to be this kind of insider. And so at that point, aren't you being propped up by the team around you? And so, like, with that so if Kanye is an originator, right, not an industry plant, what would you say about somebody like Ice Spice, Taylor Swift?
Keller, you wanna take this question?
I don't think they're industry plants. Maybe Taylor Swift is. I don't know. That whole situation makes zero sense to me. That's got to be for some rhyme or reason that's greater than...
Doesn't make sense to me either.
No. Yeah.
But, like, once you get to the level, right, of getting signed by Def Jam, doesn't the entire people, like, they say, oh, you're making money. And once you're identified as a moneymaker, the money-making machine lifts you up.
Well, yeah, because everybody, wants to be able to be like, oh, well, I helped you get, so let me get. I feel like that's kind of how that industry works, no?
I feel like Kanye, if without the documentary, I think he would have been an industry plant. But I feel like with the documentary, like, I don't know if I can believe the documentary or not, but with the documentary, I'm like, wow, Kanye was struggling at one point, like, he really was, like in the documentary, it shows him, like, upset because, like, ain't nobody giving him a chance. And then eventually, like, plays it for the one right person, and he hears it and, like, does something with it, So that, if it's real, that makes me think he's not a plant, But, because I feel like industry plant's also, like, a new term because of, like, where the music industry is now. Like you said, like, Ice Spice and, like, Yeet, and almost, like, a little bit Tizo Touchdown, like, just like Kanye went from being nobody to being everyone knows who they are.
Don't you think, though, that somebody identifies them and puts them in the machine? It's almost like what's a good example? I was going to use, like, ESPN has, like, once they have an anchor, like a sports anchor that they think is good, they just throw him everywhere, or her everywhere. They're like, oh wow, she's really badass, and you put her and then you see you're basically propping up somebody that you invented, rather than propping up just a complete outsider, like somebody who got famous at another network or anything like that. You can just say, oh, you right out of college, come on up here and run this thing. We're gonna make you famous overnight. That's kind of that's an industry. That would be like an industry plant, right? Like you're on Spotify, you're like everywhere there's music. You're showing up.
I feel like industry plant is like someone who, like, okay, Yeet and Ice Spice are really good examples because they're like very niche music things, except Ice Spice. I guess Ice Spice taking over like Cardi B.
That's like almost pop music.
Yeah, but Yeet especially is like super niche in what he does. Kind of like a Playboi Carti, like Lucky maybe mixture. Like there's some stuff kind of like it, but nothing exactly like it. And when the people who found him and was like, this is something really niche that could blow up. I think an industry plant is someone who, like, just does whatever the industry tells them to do, you know? Like, if they told Ice Spice, like, okay, during your concert, all you're gonna do is shake your ass and sing the song, and she's like, okay, then I feel like that's an industry plant. But I feel like some people, they try to make an industry plant, and then it doesn't work out because they refuse to do things that
you can't get that big because you're not, like, you either can't do the things good enough.
You're not committed to the fame.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know. I like to think that maybe Yeet's more of a creative guy than just the music he puts out, you know? But I think he puts out the music he puts out because every time he puts out music like that, fucking 10 million
He
views.
writes that music or performs it, you think?
I don't think he writes it.
What? How do you see, like, the writer credits on a song? Also, what is Yeet's real name?
And then what about, so I have this kind of opinion that TikTok is probably the biggest place where an industry plant is allowed to thrive, because at the TikTok, like, I read this thing about TikTok that says they basically just, like, all the other social medias ran, I don't know if they still do, but off of, like, an algorithm of popularity.
Mm-hmm.
You like it, I like it, then they'll show it to more people. They'll be like, wow, those 3 people like it, let's show it, let's spread it out.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, that shit, they just turn the crank every once in a while. So you'll post this, and then they'll turn the crank on something. But, like, I bet you could pay them behind the scenes to turn the crank on Ice Spice. Like, you want something to go viral, you got some management money behind you, you know how to pay TikTok to fucking grr.
I also think TikTok's just like the recruiting field of industry plants. Like, if anybody's looking for an industry plant, TikTok's the place to go.
So if you naturally blow up on TikTok,
You're good. Yeet writes his own music.
Yeet writes his own music?
Yes, he does. Noah Smith, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know, it's hard because I don't know if you've
well, but it's not complicated, right?
Yeah, it's not like his last one was money for fun. I feel like you could write that.
You're
for
a
sure.
hater.
I am a hater.
I like Yeet.
Yeah, I don't know, Billy.
None I change.
No, I don't know any Yeet songs.
You heard one. You heard like.
Yeah, I heard one, but no.
Which one?
It was the Drake one. It was the.
Okay.
Money for fun.
Okay.
I do what I want. What is that? I don't know.
Oh, maybe I did hear that one.
Yeah. You definitely did. But yeah, I just think Kanye, not an industry plant, but I think he added to the culture of industry plants. Like, I think they were like, damn, we can just do what we did with Kanye.
What about Taylor Swift?
I don't know that much about.
That's been a hot one, and it's been a hot topic lately.
I don't know that much about Taylor Swift, to be honest. Like,
I don't care to know that much.
I know the Kanye Taylor Swift beef.
And that's just because you're not a fan of real deal pop music.
And I also know that, like,
shout out Taylor Swift.
She's actually maybe an industry plant, but, like, coming out, you know, as like a whistleblower industry plant, because she's coming out with her Taylor versions, and because she said that
she had to fight back against the industry that planted her.
Yeah.
She said, "I'm talented enough to do this shit without y'all."
Mm-hmm.
Seems like she did that.
So it means that all of her songs were different because the record label wanted them to be a certain way, you know. And now these Taylor versions are coming out of the way that she wanted her music to be. So kind of like a whistleblower.
Wow, and she gets to get rich twice.
Like,
made the money the first time and the second time.
Yep.
They say her dad owned 3 to 5% of the initial company, and he's like a banker, like a 3-generation like investment banker from New York.
Damn.
And they lived on a Christmas tree farm in Minnesota.
Industry plant for sure.
Her dad. They also said her dad bought 100,000 copies of the first album to help it like reach gold or platinum or whatever they needed to.
100,000 copies.
Yeah, because you had to buy a certain amount of copies to do gold or platinum or whatever it is.
But, like, in actuality, he gets a cut of that, right? Or at least Taylor gets a cut of it.
But how many people do that shit?
Probably a lot. Well,
Is Taylor Swift the only person who's fucking comes from enough money to push it that far forward? Or is there just a few people that can sing, dance, look, and act perfect all the time?
I feel like that's a huge thing lately. Like, I don't know about you, Keller, but like, you ever seen like ads for followers or like listens?
Oh yeah, like you can pay for these numbers to appear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I guess back then it was harder to do that than now, but like now it's a huge thing. Now it's like we could be at 1 million followers on the Glassmith right now if you just wanted to pay like
$400.
Yeah, like $400
Okay.
or something like that. You know?
Yeah, we still wouldn't get the views though.
Yeah, you still wouldn't get the interaction.
Algorithm hold us down.
Yeah, but you could. And
Yeah,
I can
those
also
numbers look good.
I can release the song and get 100 million plays on it for $500, and makes it seem like it's a really good song. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't.
I wonder what the optimal number of views is. Like, I'd like to buy. Like, if you were gonna purchase some to try to make yourself look good, like what it would be.
I think it's like you said. I think it's not necessarily about views, but about how much people share it and like interact with it. You know.
But you just pay YouTube to fucking behind the scenes to fucking put your shit out. If you're Taylor Swift, you probably even force them.
Yeah.
Like at this point, you just like it's not only like you're not only like the music because she made it to the point where I know not y'all, but everybody likes it. But she also gets this benefit from being able to push and say, play my shit, or we're not going to give you this access. You'll get a delayed copy of my movie, sucker. So then everybody on YouTube gets it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're on YouTube, you're just like, holy shit, why is Taylor Swift in the middle of this fucking army movie? Whatever you're looking at, you know?
She has actually done a couple of movie roles. I forget.
I didn't know that.
What? I forget her recent movie roles. Let me see.
Famous.
I feel like they all eventually do cameos then in
Do you think of Britney Spears differently than you think of Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
100%.
Because Britney Spears is like gone now. She's not gone, but like
What?
she's not in the industry anymore.
But like her original, like if you look back, like when she was 20, like 20 to 26, and she was super famous, and like.
I guess I don't. I don't know. I guess I've always viewed Taylor Swift as like a sad girl.
Okay. Britney Spears.
And Britney Spears is more like a pop star, you know, like a kind of like a loose cannon almost.
Okay, like a real diva, Britney
Yeah.
Spears.
Yeah, but like Taylor Swift was just the sad girl who got broken up with and then made.
See, I think that's what Britney Spears was.
Oh.
Back in the day. Dated Justin Timberlake. He broke up with her, cheated on her with another girl, and she had all these sad songs with their pop songs. And then she kind of fell apart. But also an industry plant, like kind of parents that put like that's why they had the conservatorship on her, because they started the whole shit. Like they were like, we made you from the time you were fucking 12. We're not just gonna let you have all your own shit when you turn 18. And then they just kept it.
But you listen to Britney Spears?
I do.
Yeah?
I still listen to Britney Spears. I love Britney Spears.
Then is Britney Spears different than Taylor for you?
Yes, absolutely. But I don't necessarily think that she might not be an industry plant because Britney Spears' sister is also extremely famous.
Sort of famous.
No, Zoe 101. What?
Oh.
Fuck is Zoe 101. And she's on this show on Netflix called Sweet Magnolias is like some sort of backup character.
And she's
I love her character.
She got
on that.
canceled because she was roped in with their dad for stealing a bunch of money from Britney during all
Jamie
of
Lynn
this.
was on fucking stayed on the payroll,
She got-
family payroll.
She got knocked down on quite a few pegs when people found out
No,
about that.
Jamie Lynn's bad actress. I watched this show.
Zoe 101?
No, but me and Nava might. I'll ask her about it.
Zoe 101 is good.
You should ask.
Core childhood memories.
Yeah, I didn't know she had a sister, to be honest.
Yeah.
She
Zoe
tried
is
to
Britney
be in
Spears'
music.
sister.
Like I'm saying, it's like a family business. Like they spent the money to make sure that Britney was. Like I'm saying, there's lots of pretty girls sing dance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know. So it's like, why do these ones become? That's my argument against industry plant, is because there's a lot of guys that you can throw out in front of the masses, and it doesn't spark. You know what I mean? They come and go so fast. There's a few of them that are like, they know how to get the attention, the people behind them. They have the look. They have all the stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like it goes from the people that like will do anything that the record says or the industry says than to the people who are like they draw the line basically, I guess.
But you can still only push someone so far. You know what I mean? Like that shit has to have its own spark too. Because there's too much. There's too many yeets. You know what I mean? So why is it yeet? Because yeet beat out skeet and deet. You know what I mean? Tweet, cheat.
Definitely beat out cheat. Fuck cheat.